What's going on, everybody? My name is Bazerath, and today we're going to be reacting to another League of Legends video. This one is about Tahm Kench, and it's called The River King. I play Tahm Kench, but I don't know anything about the champion himself, so we're going to get a little bit of information, figure out a little bit of his lore. The way I usually do this is I'll watch the video, react as it's playing, and then I will go back and I'll go over it, and I'll check out and see if I can find things like Easter eggs or anything interesting that pops out or stands out to me, maybe some hidden messages or something like that. So hopefully you guys enjoy, and let's get into it. This feels like a Pike intro so far. Murky water.
Into a sunken town, the handsome gambler ran, for he owed gold and blood, and yet had none to spare. Desperate and forlorn, he was about to change his path and walk away when he heard a song that called on him to chance his luck again. Now the singer
got that
was
like Western sound to it.
The biggest mouth the gambler had ever seen. "Excuse my song," the monstrous siren said. "The tune's purpose was your attention. For I knew you had troubles, and I can offer absolutions." "Can you carry me from this bind?" the youth asked. "Boy, the world's one river, and I'm its king. Ain't no place I ain't been.
Is Tahm Kench like a demon?
Go again. And the price is a minuscule thing.
Kind of like a Crossroads demon?
Hungers that ain't easily fed. But those finest tables, they ain't never got a seat for me. So I need men like yourself to let me in."
Yeah, it's like you gotta fill out this contract.
The gambler's only hunger was dice and cards, so this bargain, it seemed too easy a price. "If you're offering a ticket," the youth finally said, "that's a deal I will take." And before another word was spoke, the monster snapped him up and fled. To a faraway land the gambler was conveyed. At a palace of chance he was left.
Okay.
Years passed.
Made a deal.
And love the gambler found. His bride, a princess, and the wedding none would miss.
Wow, this guy's luck turned big time.
Finally did arise. The family screamed and fought, and although the gambler tried to cast him out, it ate the gifts and house and gold. For its hunger, nothing satisfied. "Please, not now, not this time." The bride did
That didn't
cry.
take very long.
The beast's response, to her it purred. "This hunger's a burden, but it's the last time, I swear. So please, forgive." Now the creature's lies, so melodic and sincere, charmed that bride, and thus she failed to recognize when that demon's jaw unhinged. She screamed just once as I snapped her bones and crushed her limbs.
Holy shit.
Now that meal, it left me satisfied. So cry if you want.
God
boy,
damn, Tahm
'cause you
Kench
had
is
a
a
chance
savage,
to walk
man.
away. Instead, you're the fool. The fool who let me in.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so that wasn't the usual cinematic that I would react to, because this one was more of a tale. And I kind of had to listen to it to kind of acknowledge some of the things that were going on. From what I could tell, based off of the first time watching, the information that I could take from it was a guy was on the run. He owed money and owed blood. So I'm assuming he was a murderer. He came across a demon. I think Tahm Kench is considered a demon. I don't think he's a fish at all. And he offered him basically like what a Crossroads demon would offer. I'm going to give you a contract. I'm going to give you a deal. I'm going to take you to a place, or I'm going to like basically give you whatever you want. And then I'm going to basically like collect at some point. The guy thought the deal was enticing, didn't know anything about the demon or what his intentions were. And I guess Tahm Kench has like this crazy appetite. So even if he does get what he wants like the contract is say fulfilled, he wants more. So he takes more, which in turn will, you know, it all the deals that he makes isn't necessarily of like good intention, obviously. Uh he was talking about hunger and it's hard to satisfy him. So not only when they said money at the start, so the guy owes money and blood. The wealth of the lady of the princess was the money portion, and then the princess herself was the blood. So that's pretty insane when you really go back and you start thinking about uh, like the underlying messages of like or like how like certain things tie with certain things. I feel like if I wasn't listening, I probably would have missed that little detail. So that's kind of cool. I'm not a big fan of like Western style movies. So like the way like in a lot of cowboy movies and like barons and stuff. It's like oh yeah, oh yeah here. Like I'm not into the Western culture exactly. He has a very Baron esque sound to him. I think a movie that would or a show that would give a good example of that is Into the Borderlands. I recall there's a Baron in there, and he has the same kind of voice. But Tahm Kench, I play the champ. Don't know anything about him. He's a fucking savage. There's a lot of like interesting tidbits, like this part, I believe.
Ran, for he owed gold and blood,
He
and yet had none
owed
to
gold and
spare.
blood.
Desperate and forlorn,
And then I'm not gonna go too much into
my
this.
song, the monstrous siren said.
Hang on. So what's the deal here? I'm not gonna go too much into this because it is not the typical cinematic where it's like I could easily like point this out and this out. It's like I'm looking at a bunch of scrolled papers and stuff, and it's kind of hard to figure out the exact underlying message of every single thing by doing that. So
Out the gambler had ever seen.
let's see.
Excuse my song, the monstrous siren said. The tune's purpose was your attention, for I knew you had troubles, and I can offer absolutions.
You know,
Can
for
you carry me
absoluteness.
from this bind? The youth asked. Boy, the world's one river, and I'm its king. Ain't no
Can you carry me from this bind? So can you take me away from here? Essentially, is what he's saying.
place I ain't been. Ain't no place I can't go again. And the price is a minuscule thing. See, I got hungers that ain't easily fed. But those finest tables, they ain't never got a seat for me. So I need men like yourself to let me in.
So basically, he wants him to. He already has an eye on the prize, essentially, and it's like a place, a region, a country led by nobles, or maybe it's like led by people that don't trust his kind, essentially, for good reason. Maybe they're aware of Tahm Kench and like what he could do, and so obviously they're not gonna want to bring him in, or they have everything they ever could have. They don't need anything. They don't need to strike any deals. So Tahm Kench is going to this guy to infiltrate, and then basically because the contract, because they get married. So not only does he fulfill the contract by making the guy leave, but the guy infiltrates by getting married. It could have been real love. It could have been whatever. I don't think they would have gotten married otherwise. But essentially, because it was a princess and the contract wasn't completed 100%, I think the guy was just unaware. So I think that's what's happening here.
Now the gambler's only hunger was dice and cards, so this bargain, it seemed too easy a price. If you're offering a ticket, the youth finally said, that's a deal I will take.
Tickets to
And
leave.
before another word was spoke, the monster snapped him up and fled.
You
To
didn't
a
eat him.
faraway land, the gambler was conveyed. At a palace of chance, he was left.
Palace of Chance, he was left.
Years passed, and love the gambler found. His
See, years passed. So basically, I'm assuming the guy thought that the debt was paid. And this has been years of being on this in this new place. He found love. He situated himself.
bride, a princess, and the wedding none would miss. Now when that hungry beast finally did arise, the family screamed and fought, and although the gambler tried to cast him out, it ate the gifts, and house, and gold. For its hunger, nothing satisfied. Please, not now, not this time, the bride did cry. The beast's response, to her it purred.
So this happened on their wedding day. So they got married. He came to collect. Once they were officially married, all the gold, he collected all the gold, whatever he wanted, the people, and then now is in front of her, not on this day, which is their wedding day.
This hunger's a burden, but it's the last time, I swear. So please, forgive. Now the creature's lies, so melodic and sincere, charmed that bride, and thus she failed to recognize when that demon's jaw unhinged. She screamed just once as I snapped her bones and crushed her limbs. Now that meal, it left me satisfied. So cry if you want, boy, 'cause you had a chance to walk away. Instead, you're the fool who let me in.
You are the fool that let me in. Isn't that insane? So he learned an extremely harsh lesson, and he paid in gold and in blood. Man, fucking Riot's so good at doing this. Let me know what you guys think about this video in the comments. It's not something I typically like. It's not the easiest one to react to because it's a story that's kind of laid out. It's not one that's visually there. It is visually there, but it's like you got to really use your imagination, and it really helps to go back and watch these videos. I was super impressed. It's another banger. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video. See ya.